Welcome to my channel. This is 4046 and I bid you good day. At the moment the heat wave is still ongoing. At the moment it's a lot cooler than it has been. The humidity has been starting to grow, and I make this before another busy day where I work. Thank you to my new subscriber, very much appreciated. He's an absolute legend, and if he made his own YouTube channel I suspect that it would be a smash hit. So thank you for your support. Today this is not a Babylon 5 channel, so I do make Babylon 5 videos because I grew up with Babylon 5 and followed it ever since. It's been on the periphery for a while because, as if nothing happens in a community, then you kind of make it dormant. Today's video is going to be about season 2 of Babylon 5. Now you can get this on Prime Video for £2 a season. I would definitely suggest doing so because it's the next best thing to having a DVD. These particular box set seasons are not that much these days. They're still awaiting a Blu-ray thing so I can actually compress my collection slightly and gain a little bit more space. However, these do not take much space. Preceding these I had the videos, and the videos took a damn sight more space. There you go, it's just one of those things. Today I'm going to be focusing on season 2. This particular season has a number of changes. This season hits the mark a lot. The production values, there's no stories that are exactly weak. There are some stories that are not so good, like some of the standalone stories still concentrating on the Mars issues that are highlighted in the last season. In this particular season, Jeffrey Sinclair has been reassigned, so they have a new lead in the shape of Bruce Boxleitner, who principally was in Tron, but many other things, as Captain Sheridan. The reason they put Captain Sheridan in place of the station is the new president is very anti-alien, and so they put basically a war hero in which the Minbari absolutely despise. They hate this guy because he blew up one of their sort of flagships. Anyway, during the war, this continues some other plot points from the previous season. This does not continue the Babylon 4 thing, that's covered a lot later on. However, this does continue on from the Narn Centauri situation, which becomes a full-blown war. And tragically, within 6 months, the Narns lose the war and get flattened. It's very well written. It is quite sad as well, but it is very well written. G'Kar is outstanding. It's a shame that he wasn't in more things. He did appear in Star Trek: The Next Generation, but I'm pretty sure he was in something else as well, a couple of other things as well. It's a shame, it really is, because Andreas Katsalis, which I do apologise if I butchered the name, was a very good character actor. Not to say that Peter Jurasik as Londo isn't. He becomes more developed, but unfortunately in his thirst for power and his thirst for influence and the thirst to become close to the Emperor, his friends diminish because he changes. He becomes a more distant person and the kind of person that's alone in the crowd. So is the beginning of his demise, I suppose, even though his demise isn't for some time yet. Start to see Mr. Morden a little bit more, who works for these mysterious shadows. You find out about the shadows a bit more in this season. Also, you find out a little bit more about the mysterious Kosh as well in this season. You get one or two reoccurring characters. They introduce a Star Fury pilot in this season, and they also introduce a character called Talon, who will be a recurring character. It's nice to have recurring characters because sometimes if you've got good ones, they're as strong as the more rounded, more centralised characters. I digress. With having the sort of new film on the horizon, unfortunately, unlike some other series, this particular one, about 60% of the cast are no longer with us. So in the new medium, they've had to get voice actors in to do the voices of principal characters. Myra Furlin, who plays the then, only died last year, so yeah, they don't seem to, for some reason, the characters in this, the actors in this, don't seem to last, or don't live particularly long, with the exception of Peter Jurassic and Bruce Boxleitner. They don't seem to last very long at all. So it's a shame, really, because quite a few of them are good actors in their own right, but unfortunately with something like this, it's very difficult to find work doing other things, because they want that character and you become associated with that character. So it is quite a shame, really. But in continuing, the problems on Earth are continuing. There is a 1984 style presence on Earth with the Ministry of Peace, which we, as I've touched on before, with 1984 was a division in there to just basically keep an eye on people and then edit history, as unfortunately it's something that is happening in real life, but that's something else entirely. However, there's something called the Night Watch, and they set up their, which is a division of the Ministry of Peace, and all the people that are in it get paid extra money per week, but then it's to spy on everybody else, which, to be honest, is never a good sign. So there's some issues highlighted by that. You also have, they've spent a lot more money on computer generated images in this season. It does seem to be one of those things where they've upped their game, but with each season they up their game further and further anyway. You see more established things like obviously the Narn ships and the Centauri ships as well, and all in all it does hit the mark. Some very strong some very strong scenes with G'Kar on the surrender of the Narns to the Centauri. Yes, I do apologise about this. Editing gets better. I have some spoilers in here, really, because if you've not watched this yet, just forget what I said. Watch this after you've watched the season. I would definitely surmise to do so. Obviously, on the downloadable one, the rent one, I think it's very similar, because generating new box art is not it's a bit pointless if you don't have to. You can just use the cover of the of this. does cover some. I think possibly the weakest story is probably the one where they have the Drazi and they every year, every 4 years, they have this contest where they get coloured handkerchiefs around their necks and then beat each other senseless. And yes, it's okay, but it's probably one of the weaker stories. Although there are one or two very amusing moments in that particular episode. Continuing on, there's so much to unpack, but I would say that it delivers more. One of the main characters does change and then starts to be resented by quite a few of her own people. Start to see her as an outcast, as an abomination, so to speak, even though that's far from the truth. So even alien cultures have racism, not just to human beings in the show. So yes, I am reading the third book at the moment. Hope to make a video sometime in the next 7 days on that, and then make another video in the next 7 days about something else entirely, because it can't just be about Babylon 5. It's something that I know about, and I'm not just Babylon 5. I've watched a lot of other things, but in particular at this moment in time it just seemed like a good idea to do so. So thank you very much for liking and subscribing. Without you subscribers, it helps me to concentrate on making more videos, and as I said, we're getting closer and closer to better content every day. With luck, in September, October, you can get a new laptop and then start to make some better edited videos, or shall we say even in one hit editing. Strange enough, this is the second time I've done this one, so I have started to do a little bit of quality control. But thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.